All right, I'm here with Phil Bourassa, lead character designer. And how are you doing tonight, Phil?
I'm doing well, thank you.
It's a very exciting night, and I'm excited to talk to you because you really make this movie come to life, which I just think is amazing. I couldn't do that to save my life. What is your process? Where do you begin whenever you go into an iconic comic book movie like this?
It's about we start with this. Everything starts with a script. I have a lot of conversations with James Tucker, our producer, about like tone and art direction. The style we've established in Justice League War like 8 movies ago or however many. So this is kind of like, just a continuation of that. It's all in that continuity. So it's not so much determining stylistically how we're going to approach it, because that's intuitive, but it's about, like in this case, we introduce a lot of characters that we haven't introduced yet into our continuity. So it's about doing the research on the characters, looking at the different interpretations, the different iterations that artists and writers have done over the years, and cultivating a look that works within the context of the narrative that we're creating.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It sounds time consuming, but also really cool that you are able to take other people's interpretations as well as your own.
Yeah, I mean, you always, what's great about it is that, you're not starting from scratch. If you just read the script, if these characters were brand new and you just read the script and it described them, and there was no history there, who knows what that would be. There could be so many interpretations of what the Demon or Swamp Thing or Dead Man could look like, but and that would be great too, but that's a whole different animal. What we're doing is building on a legacy and like years and years of artists and writers interpreting these characters. So we have a very strong foundation of material to start with. And the trick is to do something unique and new to some extent while still being reverent of the tradition. So that's really the job in a nutshell.
Very thoughtful art. Do you find in this film or any of your animations that you have a signature thing that you do for the characters that's just like a you thing? It's your stamp.
I wouldn't be the one to call it. I mean, I draw. If you look at the movies and if you look at Young Justice, which is another, the series that I designed for Warner Brothers, I'm sure that you can identify idiosyncratic elements of my style. But, to me, it's like my speaking voice. It's just how I draw. You know what I mean? It's just how it's just what's inherent and innate and intuitive to me. So, which also makes it doesn't make it, these are really challenging projects to do, to create these movies, but it's made somewhat easier by the fact that I don't have to try to translate some other artist's style. I can just draw the way I draw,
All right, last question.
Okay.
We were recently at the San Diego Comic Art Gallery, and I got to speak to a lovely young lady of about 10 or 11 years old who is a budding comic book artist.
Cool.
So any suggestions for that young lady and other young artists out there on how to get your job?
You just got to draw your butt off, I mean, drawing what I do, I do traditional, we still work in traditional hand-drawn animation, so it's about studying anatomy, studying drapery, and how to interpret it into line and create art. Or for what I do, it's about understanding naturalistic, believable form, and so study, draw from life, draw from reference, and definitely do draw from the works of other master artists, and you got to do that all the time, and you got to be able to draw out of your head, and just it literally has to be second nature. It's like if you're going to be a professional athlete, if you're going to play basketball, you have to shoot 1,000 free throws a day. It's like anything else. It's like it has to become an obsession that's the most important thing to you outside of family and school or whatever. So it's like if you're young and you want to do what I do for a living, it's about doing it all the time.
Awesome. That's a great answer. Practice, 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 people.
Right on.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.